Ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, I am the greatest of the greatest of the absolute greatest, Josh Samuel. And on the line with me, ladies and gentlemen, are two great brothers, and their names are Fran and Jordan Ros. Brother Fran, man, how you been doing, brother?
I've been doing great, as always.
Good, good,
I
good.
don't have
Brother
time for nerds and for people on the internet to try and ruin films for me. So I've been doing great.
I hear you, brother. Brother Jordan, man, how you been doing, man?
I am great. I saw Rise of Skywalker and I loved it. And I know Fran loved it too. He loved it so much.
Spoiler, I didn't.
And I'm not being sorry. I really did love it. So, yeah, and I'm great.
Good, 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 good. Well, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately for you all, today's video is not a Star Wars Rise of Skywalker review. That will be another video. Today, we are going to be talking about some DC topics. Now, brother Jordan, I'll start with you, man. Now, Zack Snyder has been on a rampage. In the words of the dude from Batman v Superman, there's a mean in him, and he's hunting. There's a new kind of mean. Now, he recently posted an image with Henry Cavill in a black suit. Black Power, of course. We saw the image, and of course, this was around the time where Crisis on Infinite Earths was happening on the CW. People were like, well, yeah, this is my Superman. Well, yeah, Brandon Routh is the best Superman ever because he smiled. Yeah, I aspire to be like him. All them shenanigans. What's your thought on the image of Henry in the black suit?
Awesome. I think another one of those great kind of answers that we've been wondering is like, is he in the black suit? Is he not in it? And it seems pretty clear now that he was in the black suit for a good portion of the movie. Again, there's so much to the story we don't know, but it's kind of nice to hear that he was in it. And there's a lot of people freaking out, being like, the suit's photoshopped. And it's like, I don't care. Just him saying that's a confirmation that he's in the black suit. I don't. It doesn't matter to me if they're going to edit it afterwards or actually make a black suit. But yeah, it was awesome, and I'm really happy that he said that, and we've learned some new interesting tidbits since then. And yeah, I think it's great.
Nice. Yeah, I really like how it goes back to the whole 5-story arc, and it seems like, again, Superman is definitely going to go through a phase of birth with Man of Steel, death with BVS, rebirth in Justice League, and the other 2 chapters. Hopefully we see those as well. Brother Fran, what's your thought on Henry in the black suit, man?
Well, I mean, I saw that Zack said that he was going to wear it for the whole movie, like because someone told him, is he going to wear it even in the final battle? And he said yes. So, I mean, that's like a dream come true. When I started my channel and I was like a Spanish-speaking channel, my first ever video on YouTube was how excited I was that Superman was going to come back with a black suit on Justice League. So when I saw that image, I was like, yes! Fucking finally, we're going to see this suit, like he in the suit in the big screen, and I was really, really excited. And I loved to see all those Instagram accounts and people on Twitter saying, oh my god, Zack Snyder doesn't understand the comics, he doesn't understand the character. And I was like, yo, have you read the comics after the death of Superman? Like, people were telling Zack Snyder that he didn't know the comics, and people were like literally posting images of comics that had Superman in the black suit after he dies. So stop complaining about shit. But let's keep the negative away. I am super excited to see him in the black suit. Like, it's going to be so fucking epic. Because all that rushed hope and optimism that we had in Joss Whedon's Justice League is going to be completely erased. Like, from what we've seen or what we are seeing, I think that Zack has enough power in the negotiations to say, no, this is going to be the way I fucking want it to be. And if I want the suit black, the suit is going to be black. And if I wanted to make it R-rated, it's going to be R-rated. And I am so happy to see that.
Yes. Now, Brother Fran, I'll start with you, man. Now, Zack Snyder also most recently posted an image with Ezra Miller. Now, for the uninitiated, Ezra Miller is an actor who is currently starring in the Fantastic, or for those like me, not so Fantastic Beast movies. But he is also playing Barry Allen, aka The Flash. And we recently learned that the Flash movie has a date set for 2022. Let's hope that it doesn't speed too far off from that date and it actually keeps that date. I don't foresee Andy Muschietti having anything come up between now and then, so hopefully everything works out with that. What's your thought on how far the Flash has come in terms of development? Because it's, as we talked about, going through numerous directors, numerous creative choices. Rick Famuyiwa was originally set to direct it, and then creative differences occurred and he was off. The people from Game Night were supposed to direct it. They left. Then there was a rumor that Grant Morrison and Ezra Miller were taking matters into their own hands, with Ezra Miller later saying that they were not going to make the movie until they get it absolutely right, because they want it to be a gift from them to the fans. So, like everybody else in the Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League, he's clearly very passionate about his character, and he's ready and willing to make this movie, and he wants it to be a movie like no other. Your thoughts, brother?
Well, I mean, I am on board on the film if Ezra is on board in the film, because we know that he proposed a script to Warner Brothers which was way darker than the one that those two brothers wanted to make. So if he's on board on making the film that Andy Muschietti wants to make, I think it's going to be really good, and it's not going to be really goofy. I think that it's going to have the right amount of drama that the Flash has, but also the lighthearted humor and all that stuff that the Flash has, because the Flash is not a character like Batman, for example. Like he's not dark all the time. He has his drama with everything that happened to his mother and everything, but I think that a little bit lighthearted movie wouldn't really make the character wrong or anything like that. Like I've seen people on Twitter say, and I also like you said, he took a photo with Zack a few days back, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, he's bringing the league back together and this and that." And I don't think so. I think he's making a music video for Ezra's music band or something like that. So I mean, I got excited when I saw it. I was like, "Okay, what's going on?" But I think Zack said that he was helping him with a project or something like that. But I mean, who knows? But that's what happened.
Okay, Brother Jordan, man, what's your thought on Ezra Miller and the Flash, and now it finally having Andy Muschietti as the director? Shout out to it and It Chapter 2, and the 2022 release date, man.
I think I agree with all that Fran said. I'm still kind of bummed that Rick isn't directing it still, because I love Dope so much. That's such a great movie. That's why he brought Kirstie Clemons to be Iris West. It's like, yes, I want to see that. Like, but Andy Muschietti, I like him too. He made, It and stuff, and I like his movies. And I'm just glad that Ezra seems to be fighting for something more aligned with what he signed up to be, because it seemed like for a while, after Zack left the DCEU, Warner Brothers was trying to make a more lighthearted Flash movie, and Ezra's like, no, I didn't sign up for that. I signed up for a darker, more serious tone that doesn't necessarily negate, kind of hope and optimism, but just is more serious. And I'm glad that he fought for that. And I'm super excited that he brought Grant Morrison on board at one point because he's like one of the greatest comic book writers ever. So
Right.
you gotta like if Grant Morrison is writing a movie script, like I gotta read it. Like I at the very least, like because you don't know what kind of crazy stuff they'll pull into it. And yeah, I'm just praying that it's gonna be a good movie. I hope it turns out good. I hope it is released when they say it's gonna be released.
Mhm.
And I hope it's not a Batman situation where Ezra's like, yeah, we're working on it. I just want to make it really good. And then the next year, announced, new actor is The Flash. And
Right.
Ezra Miller's stepping away. Because that would be so... I mean, we've had enough of that. So I just hope Ezra stays The Flash and I hope the movie's good. But I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yeah. Really wish Zack Snyder was directing Flashpoint, but that's another topic. Moving on, brothers. I want to talk a little bit about Aquaman. Now, as both of you brothers are aware, Aquaman turned a year old yesterday. They grow up so fast, and I want to talk a little bit about it because, as we've all discussed, Aquaman was a movie people thought was gonna underperform, a movie people were ragging on, especially after Justice League. This movie is going up against Mary Poppins, Bumblebee, and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, the latter, which I actually enjoyed. But it exceeded expectations and grossed $1 billion. James Wan, being the loyal brother he is, tried to stay in line with what Zack Snyder wanted. And we know Aquaman 2 is also going to swim to us in 2022 as well. What's your thought on Aquaman a year later, Brother Jordan?
Man, I should rewatch it. I love it. I think it's a super fun kind of throwback adventure movie. The third act is just like big and crazy and insane and it's gorgeous and I love it. It's all like totally leans into the fantasy aspect of it all. I remember people at the time or some certain critics were like, because I don't think it got the best reviews from critics. It was pretty like mixed. And they were saying it's it's stuff like it's cheesy, stuff like it's goofy, stuff like we've seen this before, and it's like I don't know. I didn't feel like it was necessarily cheesy, but it was just kind of following the tradition of classic adventure movies, and it treated those tropes and ideas with earnestness. And instead of saying, here's a joke about how this isn't, this is goofy and stuff, it just treated everything very seriously.
Right.
Which I appreciated. Even though it is goofy and ridiculous, it was nice to have, it not be super kind of cynical about having to make a joke about itself. Although there are jokes in it and stuff like that, but not necessarily about the adventure stuff. But I really enjoy it. I think I've seen it a few times on DVD since it came out, and now I gotta watch it again this weekend.
Nice. Brother Fran, man, what's your thought on Aquaman turning 1? Like I said, they grow up so fast, and even thinking about a success a year later, man.
Well, I am very happy because when it was about to come out, a lot of these influencers and YouTubers were like, "Oh my God, who's so stupid to put Aquaman next to Mary Poppins? Or who's this stupid to put Aquaman against Bumblebee?" And Aquaman made a fucking $1 billion, and for what it was, it really deserved it because it's like Jordan said, like the perfect adventure kind of comic booky movie that doesn't take itself really serious. It has a space for humor and it has a space for seriousness and epicness. Like the whole third act is pure comic book orgasm. Like everything that happens in there is comic booky and fucking epic. So I'm really happy that it made $1 billion. It's a movie that I recently bought and I saw it again, and it's a really enjoyable movie. It's like doesn't make you think. It's not like this political thriller, but for what it is, it's really, really good.
That's
And also,
agree.
big shout out to Jason Momoa, because that man has done so much for us that we can't even start to thank him for what everything that he's done.
Absolutely, he's one of the most loyal brothers in the world that there is, and I couldn't be happier that he's Aquaman. Now, Fran, I'm gonna start with you, man, and you know, this is the time where people, start, listening really carefully and say, well, yeah, I got you now. I'm gonna type this comment in the comment section because you a bitch. Now, Fran, I'm gonna start with you, man, because you and I have discussed this in rounds, and you know where we're about to go. Now, November 17th, 2019. Now, this day was a day like no other. This day was a glorious, heartfelt, emotional, swashbuckling, and adventurous day on Twitter for you, myself, brother Jordan Ros, and many people worldwide. We did something that hasn't ever been done on Twitter in terms of movies. We hashtag released the Snyder Cut so many times that it trended worldwide, and we outdid our goal several times over. Now, now since then, brother Fran, there's been a lot of hype and a lot more talks about the Snyder Cut, rightfully so, because we know it's a thing and we know it's coming. And WB has not only announced release dates, but they've also released a trailer for Wonder Woman 1984. And now, we talk about creative freedom. We talk about artistic integrity. We talk about Gal Gadot's deliciousness, because that she is. And we also
the horny police are knocking on your door, Josh. You better watch
and
out.
we all don't knock on my door.
It was so serious until then.
The FBI is coming.
I hope not, bro. But we talk about all these things, rightfully so, and we're all active in Twitter, and we see a lot of things, and all three of us and many other of our fellow brothers and sisters are consistently hashtagging release the Snyder Cut whenever Zack releases a photo, whenever Warner Brothers UK is talking about, Man of Steel with, you will give the people on Earth an ideal to strive towards, like they should, etc., etc. But once again, Fran, we see this sort of aggression and sort of clap back towards other directors, other movies, other characters, decisions that are being made in certain films. And as I've said, I don't know how many times, friend, if you want to boycott movies that are coming out for Warner Brothers, the upcoming DC movies, the CW Arrowverse, we really don't care. WB, at the end of the day, doesn't care that much either. That's fine. If you want to continue to support DC movies because you like DC characters and DCU and the DC Universe, that's fine. But what we can't do is go at directors, calling them disgusting and vile things, and we can't just be ragging on movies and producers and directors just because we're upset. At the end of the day, our goal should be continuing to hashtag release the Snyder Cut, and that's it. People are going to talk regardless. People talk about the Snyder Cut fandom or the Zack Snyder and his fans regardless. He's just that great, and we're just that great. They're going to talk regardless. And again, I have to check myself repeatedly. I had to check myself earlier this week, but I still went and did what I did. But, people are going to talk regardless, and I feel like we shouldn't be going at a Patty Jenkins just because she made some choices or she said some things. It's not like she's saying, Zack Snyder's movies are cancer. Boo. Zack Snyder's movies suck ass. Boo. She said nothing of the like. You know, she's collaborated with Zack. Zack was a huge part of the story on the first Wonder Woman. He was brought back with Wonder Woman 84. You know, I'm not lying. If you don't believe me, look on Zack's Vero post. Look at the back of the Wonder Woman DVD, and you'll see that I'm not lying. Zack has taken pictures with Patty, you know, etc., etc. But at the end of the day, brothers and sisters that are listening and getting ready to type at me, and I warn you, don't do that because that'll be a mistake. Remember November 17, 2019, when we all made a difference. When we all just hashtag released the Snyder Cut. And Brother Fran, the mic is yours, man.
Well, yeah, I mean, the whole message that we have to take from November 17th is that when we come together, we can spread what we want and ask for it in the most positive way that we can. Like that day, I didn't see a single mean tweet. Like everything was positivity. Everything was positivity. And what did we achieve? We achieved 900k tweets. So when we are negative, we are divided. People start to get away from the fandom. I don't know if because they have because they are right or because they are wrong. I don't care. But when you start with the infighting, people start to get divided, and you start to get away or distracted from your goal and everything like that. So just for example, like you said, Patty said, well, my first cut of the movie was 2 hours and 45 minutes, but I'm trimming it down because I'm not that kind of director who makes 3.5-hour movies. And everyone just took it like a personal attack or something. Like, cinema has been around for 100 years. I don't think that Zack Snyder is the first human being or director to make a 3-hour-long movie. It's like saying, oh my God, Patty Jenkins threw a hint or a bad word or something like that to Peter Jackson because Peter Jackson has 3-hour-long cuts of The Lord of the Rings. It's like not everything has to do with Zack, like Patty Jenkins has her own life and she just said that because I don't know, because she just said it, but I don't think that there's nothing wrong between her and Zack, and I don't think that after everything that happened with Zack and everything that he went through, knowing that they were friends because they worked together in the Wonder Woman story and everything, I don't think that he will be throwing punches at him like that for no reason at all. So stop trying to, take everything that someone says too personal. Like Gal said, no, she doesn't have the sword and shield in this movie because it seems a little bit too aggressive, because if you have it, that means that you need to use it or something like that. And everyone's like, oh my God, she's bashing BBS because in BBS she had a sword. It's like, Joe, it's a different movie. That's it. It's a different time period. Maybe it's a different villain. She doesn't need the sword. She does need the sword to fight Doomsday, but maybe she doesn't need the sword to fight Cheetah. That's it. Like not everything that someone says is a hit or a punch or something bad directed towards Zack Snyder. Like, people have different opinions and they don't have to be always against Zack. So we should relax a little bit about it and stop with this bitch. Like, I saw a guy on Twitter saying, when this interviewer said, do you hope that the Snyder Cut comes out and this and that? And we obviously know that she wants it out because she tweeted the fucking image on November 17th. Mm-hmm. Where she said, well, because of certain circumstances, he couldn't finish the movie, but I will be totally down to see it, but I don't really know. That's perfect. But Patty said, no one did. No one did see Zack Snyder's Justice League. And she's right. And everybody's like, yeah, I mean, no one saw Zack Snyder's Justice League. Is anything wrong with that statement? Like, is she factually wrong? No, she's right. And everyone's like, this fucking bitch! And I'm like, yo, what? Like, I just going to call her a bitch because she said something that is common sense? I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with some people. But like you said, November 17th, we showed that we are capable of doing extremely good things. But there's some people in this movement that you know, they really tweet with their heads empty and their hearts really full because they sometimes tweet some really stupid shit.
Yep. And at the end of the day, brother Fran, like brother Jabril Ramsey says, staying focused is the goal. We are all the key to this. We cannot be fighting and going at different individuals. All you simply need to do is hashtag release the Snyder Cut. And maybe, maybe it's simple as, saying, oh, hey, self. Your self say, yeah, what's up? You know what, self? I'm going to just tweet this hashtag and I'm going to just go eat some potato chips. All right, self, do that. Tweet that hashtag and eat those potato chips. It's that simple. It's that simple. And that's all you got to do. People are going to talk. People are going to say something. There's going to be a Scott Mendelson that got expertly schooled by Zach that might try and, say some even more stupid stuff later on down the line. Just tweet the hashtag or just ignore it. Just block him. It's that simple. If you don't like what Patty has to say, keep on scrolling. Or just block the video, the person that posted the video. And that's it. Brother Jordan, your thoughts, man?
People are idiots. Listen to Fran and Josh. Patty and Zach are friends, man. Like, he's on the movie, he's produced it. They've been very friendly to each other. Like, I don't know why people are so, like, adamant about looking for conflict in places when there is none.
Yeah.
And, just, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I can't pretend to understand how your mind works, where you see that interview and you're like, they betrayed Zach and all that stuff. It's like, shut up. Like, no, they're fine. They're doing their thing, and Zach is supporting them. He's a producer on the movie. And, like, what Patty said, like, I could, aside from all the Warner Brothers executives, there's probably 15, 20 people who have seen the actual Snyder Cut. Like, no one has seen it. Gal Gadot is in a contract. She can't openly, once you start talking about stuff, like, that's very iffy. She could jeopardize her job. Although she does have a lot more power, her posting something on Twitter is a lot different than having to come up with an answer in the moment. And what she came up with was perfectly great. It was safe. And yet she expressed support for it. And that's all we needed. So, man, I hope once the cut is released, all these dummies will just go back into their caves and holes wherever they came from. But I don't, knowing them, like, they'll probably stay out and just be determined to bash everything. But, fight hate with love, like, fight against it. Like, we can't focus on the negative.
Right. Yeah. And, it's beautiful, man. Like I said, November, like we've all said, November 17th, 2019 was a glorious day. That should be us every day. Until Warner Brothers makes the right announcement, the actual announcement, that really could and should be us every day on Twitter, making it trend, worldwide, making it trend with millions and millions of tweets. You know what I'm saying? But that's the end of me ranting. We're going to move on. Now, Brother Jordan, man, I'll start with you. Birds of Prey was officially confirmed to be R-rated. Again, there's been some blowback at this movie as well. Now, Gotham City Sirens could logically be the next step should this movie be a success, although it's tracking very low. And there's been talks that Batgirl might have initially been in Birds of Prey, but they're still saving Batgirl for her own spinoff, which thankfully won't be directed by Joss Whedon. What's your thought on all that, man?
Thank God Joss Whedon is not directing Batgirl. Oh my gosh. Thank God. Like, can you imagine?
No.
Like, every other second, an ass shot just right in your face. Someone's gonna comment on her boob size. Like, gosh, like she's gonna, the movie's gonna start up with her like waking up in the morning with like in like a braless sheer top and like taking a long shower and just creepy lingering all over her. Like, oh my god!
And just hearing it from Joss Whedon behind the camera. Like, I'm not creepy. I'm not creepy. Sorry. Keep going.
Gosh, I think we need to celebrate that is a thing. And I think Patty, when like that was announced, didn't she like that tweet or like something?
Yeah,
it was like did. Yes.
And Zack Snyder liked it too.
Yeah, it's like, oh my gosh, thank goodness. Anyway, I'm bummed Barbara isn't going to be in Birds of Prey, but I'm totally cool with it since it sounds like they want to give her own movie. Mm-hmm. Birds of Prey, in my opinion, I think it looks super kind of weird and quirky, and it seems to like follow it seems to go for what David Ayer was trying to do with Suicide Squad, but at the time the studio just wasn't ready for it. So mm-hmm. I'm really happy that it's R-rated. It looks like kind of ridiculous and over the top, but like super serious and dark and crazy. It looks like it's a bunch of things, so I'm really excited for it. And it sounds like Barbara is going to show up somewhere down the line. I'm pumped for that, and I think it's also a matter of this might be the case, it might not be, but the Batman's coming out, and we still don't really know if the Batman, if they're going to try to include that in the DCU, because I think as of now they said it's not in the universe, but if it comes out and it's really successful, they're probably going to try to capitalize on that somehow. Maybe. I hope not. I hope they keep it separate and just have. I'm cool with two different versions of Batman on the screen, but we'll see. And so they might be waiting, because if James Gordon is played by what's his name?
Jeffrey Wright.
Jeffrey Wright, yeah, the guy who plays Felix Leiter in James Bond. If he's Gordon, I think he's kind of young, isn't he? So I think they probably want to start with a younger Batgirl, maybe work up, or maybe work towards Batgirl. So they might be waiting on that, but again, we don't know, because as far as now, J.K. Simmons is he's Commissioner Gordon. So then, obviously, he's old enough to where like a Batgirl would make sense. So they might be waiting on that. I don't think so, but it's Warner Brothers. They've done stuff like that in the past. So yeah, I'm super excited, and it's like, isn't it like less than 60 days when it's coming out? Like, it's coming out really soon, like in February. So yeah, I'm excited for it. Yeah.
Good. Brother Fran, man, what's your thought on Birds of Prey officially being confirmed to be R-rated and Gotham City Sirens potentially being next with a Batgirl or Ivy?
Well, I'm really excited, because for all those people who think that superhero movies should just be fun and optimism and the Marvel formula and all that stuff, it's really nice to see R-rated films coming out. And for what we've seen in the trailers, it is pretty violent, which I'm really excited about. And I've also seen people, like, oh my god, it's a movie all about women, and oh my god, fuck this and fuck that. And I'm like, I can understand that point of view if I saw something that indicated that it was going to be like the next Captain Marvel. But from what we've seen from the trailers, it's just women with superpowers. That's it. Like, there's nothing really like, oh my god, fuck all men or something like that. It's not like the Captain Marvel kind of way, so I don't have any problem with it. And like Jordan said, like, I'm so happy that Joss Whedon is not directing Batgirl, because I mean, I'm not like the biggest defender of, oh my god, she shouldn't be sexualized or whatever. I don't really care about all that stuff, but Joss Whedon, he's just so creepy, like, he's like, yeah, I'm super feminist and I'm an ally on Twitter and this and that and fuck the patriarchy, but I'm going to have Bruce Banner fall on Black Widow's boobs. And it's like, okay. And I'm going to have Flash fall on Wonder Woman's boobs because I'm a crazy ally and a crazy feminist. And then I'm going to cheat on my wife. Like, what? like everything that he does, he's like so hypocritical. Like, oh my god, yes, I'm such an ally, and I'm like fuck the patriarchy and fuck this and fuck masculinity. But then I put every single woman in my films is overly sexualized, and I cheated on my wife, and I did this, and I called Lois Lane the thirstiest woman alive. But I'm super feminist, guys. Don't worry about it. Like, he's just a creep. And what, like, when Jordan was saying this, I was thinking, I wouldn't be that mad of having Joss Whedon direct Batgirl, but I will be even more mad of the critics. Like, oh my god, this is such a feminist movie, and she's so empowered in this movie, when he would have probably put, like, over-sexualized shots in every single frame of the movie. And then Zack Snyder treats women like they're supposed to be treated, which is equally and making them badass and empowered. And he's like this crazy misogynistic guy who hates women and glorifies rape. That's the thing that I cannot stand. I saw the other day Sucker Punch with my brother for the first time in my life, and I finished watching it, and I was like, and what was over-sexualized, what was misogynistic, or what was, like, rape apology in this movie? Like, I saw it, and I just saw powerful women kicking ass, and that's it. Just because they are in skirts doesn't mean that they are not powerful. They don't have to be, like nuns running around. I don't know. I mean, I'm really excited for Birds of Prey. I'm really excited if they continue to do Gotham City Sirens. I want to see a Batgirl movie, but please don't have any idiot director directing it. And also, you don't have to have a woman direct the movie because the protagonist is a woman. Just have the best person for the job. That's it. If the best person to direct Batgirl is a woman, go for it. If the best person to direct Batgirl, is a man, go for it. I don't care.
Facts. Now, brothers, unfortunately, we all saw Justice League. Now,
my eyes, they're still burning.
What we know is that, thanks to Jason Momoa and Zack Snyder, we know that Steppenwolf's death was very different in the real Justice League, real with the capital R, because after all, gods kill gods, as they should. And it seems that the League as a whole, but in particular Wonder Woman, played a big part in Steppenwolf's defeat. Now, we saw the picture, the badass, the glorious, the chill-bumping boosting picture that Jason Momoa posted on that day that made everybody go crazy, myself included. And we also can remember a time when Zack Snyder said, I use gods to kill gods, and that basically Wonder Woman played a big part in defeating Steppenwolf, as she should. Brother Jordan, man, what's your thought on that?
Just makes me really sad we didn't get his cut even more. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I think he posted that fan art of Wonder Woman cutting off his head, and he was like, I can't even remember what he said, but pretty much confirming, like, yep, that's what happened in the cut. And I mean, I think we've said this before, but it's like, I don't understand how someone watches that movie.
Josh.
Yeah, they watch her decapitating him, and it's like, yeah, maybe let's cut this out. Let's not have this. It's like, what? Like, I don't. I mean, as we all know, the people who were in charge of that were idiots at the time and everything. But yeah, it's like he's revealing more and more about it, and we'll find out more, and it makes us want to see it more. And I think the way he's doing it seems really strategic and planned. So, there's still so much we don't know, but I'm so, like, that's something I'm definitely looking forward to in the cut, is Wonder Woman, like, cutting off his head. Like, I'm super hyped for that.
Same. Brother Fran, man, what's your thought on, Wonder Woman, gods killing gods, and that badass picture of Aquaman putting the Triton right through Steppenwolf. Wonder Woman coming down and chopping his neck off, and then Darkseid, Darkseid coming as well. What's your thought on all that, man?
Well, first of all, I want to say that I just saw on Twitter that tomorrow we are going to have another Twitter event at 2:14 p.m. We have to put out the hashtag release the Snyder Cut all we can. So everyone listening, it's tomorrow, Monday, 23rd of December. Go and put it out at your local time, 2:14 p.m. I mean, 2.
It looks like it's. I think it's Pacific time. I'm seeing.
Like, yeah, it's supposed to start like 2:14 p.m. But it's not like
gotcha. Okay.
It's not like a Central Time or Western Time. It's like at your time, so we can keep it trending like all day or something like that. And they said that if we reach 100,000 tweets, we might get a surprise. So you know what's going to happen. If we get to 100,000 tweets, we're going to get a new image from Zack. So tomorrow, as we did in the 17th, we have to show Warner Brothers again that what we are capable of. And to answer your question,
Let's do it.
Yes, I'm overly excited. Like, I know I'm kind of repetitive sometimes, but you have the only woman in the team being the one who kills the big guy, the major big guy, by cutting his fucking head off, like all badassery. But Zack Snyder is a misogynistic, and he glorifies rape and this and that. I'm sorry I'm so repetitive, but I just don't understand the critics. And I want to say that so badly. Like, first of all, with Jason Momoa's post, and then Superman's supposed to punch him and Wonder Woman slicing his head off. And he even said on the comments, like, this is it, like, this is the vibe that I'm going for in the movie. So if he's going to cut his head off, there's going to be blood. And if there's a lot of blood, maybe the movie can be R-rated. And having a Zack Snyder R-rated Justice League would be like a wet dream, but in real life. Like, that would be like the ultimate nerd orgasm that I would have.
Yeah.
That would be incredible. And I also saw that when Steppenwolf's head rolls to Darkseid's feet, then Darkseid crushes it, like with his feet or something. So it's like, okay, like this guy has just exploded Steppenwolf's head with his feet, and the League has been fighting him for like 30 minutes. So imagine what he can do when he comes down. But I don't know. I've seen rumors that he might be negotiating Justice League 2 and 3, but I don't really want to put my hopes really up. But I will die if some of that will be able to, like, if he will be able to finish his Superman arc. I will fucking die inside. I will be like, that will be like a dream come true. But I don't want to be overly optimistic.
Yeah. Especially knowing what we know that was supposed to come in Justice League 2 and, you know, the final part of the 5 movie arc. Brother, Fran, I'll start with you. We're about to end it very soon. Why do you feel WB and Joss Whedon chose to remove an unusually high portion of Cyborg scenes? Because it seems like, in the grand scheme of the true Justice League, Cyborg's story is going to be a major part of the story, since he is the heart of the story. And I think it was you that pretty much said that his story almost mirrors Superman's story in Man of Steel. It almost is similarly the same sort of arc in a way. Why do you feel WB and Joss Whedon chose to do this and give us a Russian family that no one has ever heard of or needed to see?
Dostoevsky! Oh my god.
I hate that joke so much.
I mean, you can see Ezra Miller like kind of dying inside. He's like, okay, I get paid a lot, but I don't know if this shit is worth it. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, because they are fucking idiots. That's it. Like, they are fucking retarded. You have a rising star as Ray Fisher who gave his A game. I mean, and I'm saying this not even seeing Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League. Like, I'm just saying this because of the frames and the story that we were supposed to be, and even from still images, you could see the range of acting that he had in that movie. Like, it is incredible the way he acts, and we've only seen, you know, stills from the movie. I think that they cut it out because it was like the darkest character arc of them all. Like, he's this guy who's really successful and then has a fatal car accident where his mother dies, and he gets like, or his body gets wrecked, and he's revived using alien technology. And when he gets revived, it's all creepy because he's just screaming, and the father cuts out the camera, and then he's like dealing with depression and like, what's going on with me? Why am I like this? And my mother is dead, and my father is telling me this, but I don't know what to do. And then, like, he's the one who sees Darkseid through the visions. So by cutting Darkseid, you had to cut some of the things that Cyborg does in the movie. I think that because his character arc was the darkest one, and the one who was more tied to Darkseid than Apocalypse and to sequels to Justice League, he was the one who got the most cut out, because he was the one who had the visions of Black Suit Superman. We now know that he uses that one in the film, but if you remember in the theatrical cut, when they are at Heroes Park and they are about to fight Superman, he says, there's, I don't remember the word, the something is stronger since the interface, I can't control it. That means that when he connected to the Kryptonian ship, he saw something. He saw evil Superman, and Warner Brothers didn't want to have an evil Superman, so they cut that one out. But they left the line, I don't know why. And when he connects to the mother boxes at the end of the movie, he sees Darkseid and has this vision of the world on fire and everything like that. And because they didn't want to scare the kids, they had to cut that thing out too. And they cut the car accident that we know it was filmed because of Fabian Warner's BTS photos. So I think they are retarded. Like, because of what we've seen, Ray Fisher gave his A game, and cutting his performance that way was a true crime.
It's disrespectful.
Yeah.
They also cut his football scenes as well. Brother Jordan, man, why do you feel WB and Joss Whedon chose to remove an unusually high proportion of Cyborg's scenes? Because it seems like, in the grand scheme of the true Justice League, Cyborg's story is going to be a major part of the movie, since he is the heart of the story. And like I said, I think it was Fran, it was you, that said in an earlier video that his story almost mirrors Clark's story in his transformation into Superman. What's your thought on that, Brother Jordan?
Well, if you ever meet Joss Whedon, if you ever look into the eyes of a Joss Whedon, you're going to see real stupidity. The kind of bottomless, fiendish stupidity. It is the most horrifying and nightmarish kind of thing you will gaze into. And that's why Ray Fisher was cut out. That's why his whole subplot, his whole story, the heart of the movie, was released. I mean, not released, was not included. Because, as Fran said, they are idiots. And, it's just that simple. You can't cut out the emotional core of a movie and still expect it to work. So, yeah, I think it's really just that simple. As an editor, like, I get it. You need to find where anything you can cut that's absolutely necessary to the story. And you can cut a film down, to be 5 minutes long, but it's not going to have the same impact at all. And if you cut out the heart, it's not going to work. So, clearly, I don't think they thought it through at all. Like, at all.
Damn.
That's why
Go ahead, brother.
That's why they burned gingers in the Middle Ages. Because all gingers have like malicious and satanic things to do on Earth. That's why you can never trust a ginger.
Yeah, that's sad. I see so many fools talking about, well, the characters in DC don't have no development. Justice League was for you. They should have did solo movies first like Marvel. Justice League is for you. They rushed everything with Man of Steel and BVS by trying to play catch up. Justice League, the true Justice League, the 214-minute Justice League is for you, my lost brother. For you, my lost sister. For you, my in-betweener. You know what I'm saying? But that's all I'm going to say about that. Moving on, brother Fran and brother Jordan, we're about to close. What's your thought on Diana's sword apparently being deemed too violent for 1984? I don't really necessarily think it's as big a deal as folks is making it out to be, because again, we talk about creative freedom, we talk about directors' visions. This is Patty Jenkins' movie. This is 1984 in the United States. I'm not saying that Wonder Woman can't have a sword in the United States, because after all, BVS happened. But I'm just saying that if it doesn't need to be in the story, or it doesn't need to be in the movie, there's really no need to fuss about it. Brother Jordan, your thoughts, man?
I don't really care so much. Like, I don't think she had a sword in the TV show. She doesn't use a sword all the time in the comics. Like, that was Zach's choice, and Patty gets to choose to do whatever she wants with the character, pretty much. That's her call. Like, and I'm sure it's going to work. I mean, she's got battle armor in this one. She's, like, riding lightning. You know, I'm cool if we don't see the sword for this one. Because, like, wasn't it destroyed at the end of the first Wonder Woman movie? Like, I'm sure in the third or the next Wonder Woman, or in this Wonder Woman movie, she's going to get the sword back somehow. Or she's going to find it or something. Like, you know, I just don't care that much about it. It's such a small thing for people to argue about. So I'm fine. I'm totally fine with it.
Right. Brother Fran, your thoughts, man?
Well, I think that I touched on it a little before, but I don't know if they feel like the story doesn't need the sword and shield. That's it. Like, I would love to see the sword and shield, but if they think that the villain is not powerful enough, or she doesn't want to use them because she doesn't want to use them, that's fine. Like, it's Patty Jenkins' decision, and we should respect it. Like, I would prefer that she had a sword, because I like when she's using a sword, but it's not that big of a deal. It's not like, oh, she's disrespecting Zack Snyder and BBS. Oh my gosh, she's such a bitch. Like, no, it's just a creative decision that they had because of the time period. That's it. It's not that big of a deal. Relax, people. Not everything is an attack. That's it. I mean, like I said, I would love her to have the sword and shield, but if they feel like the villain or the story, they don't really match up, then it's fine. Let her use her gauntlets, and that's it. I won't get mad or anything like that. It's their decision.
I completely agree. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of the video. I will leave a link to Fran's YouTube channel in the description, and Brother Jordan Ross's Twitter in the description as well. You guys go subscribe to Fran's channel and follow Jordan Ros on Twitter. And we thank you all for tuning in. And we'll see you all very soon. So don't get triggered.
Bye-bye.